Okay, it's Friday, October 13th. This is a midday SPY update here. As discussed in the previous video, the SPY was a sell here early on bar number 3 when it broke down. It kind of reached its first target, which was the pre-market lows down here in the blue line. We're looking at the 15-minute chart, and then it paused a little bit and headed lower and took out yesterday's low. So there was your second target met. So that was a good trade in the morning. Then the question was, when it came up here, one little pullback and had the shooter bar, you had to make a decision whether you wanted to maybe try another trade to go for the lows of the day and head possibly even lower. Since you reached your targets, you didn't have to do it, but if you wanted to do it, you could have gotten in here, and then if it got wrong and it started up again past that bar, you could have got it right out for a small loss. I actually decided to take the trade. I bought some 435 puts. I went 2 weeks out on this one, a little longer term play. I bought them at 608, and they're up to 710 right now, so a point higher on this move down. And again, you could treat this however you want. You can scale out, set up an overage trade. You can try to hold for the lows of the day. You can break even if it comes all the way back, and then you can look into next week to see if you want to re-enter such a trade. So we'll have to see how price action goes. But this was, whether or not it makes it down here or not, after reaching some targets, sometimes you don't want to take those trades. But sometimes, if you look at the bigger picture where the weekly chart has the potential to have a nice shooter bar and a 2 down week into next week, and you're in a resistance zone, and that's what's forming at the end of the week, that kind of dictates whether you want to take a chance on some of these secondary trades. Other contexts, you wouldn't want to do it if targets were met and it was already 2 pushes down on the day, then maybe you wouldn't take another play. Anyway, I don't know how it's going to end up for sure, but I'm just saying I ended up taking the trade. It's the only, secondary option to consider. We'll see if it gets to the low this day. We'll see if this ends up with a big red bar or not, and we'll see how this weekly, bar ends. We still have, 3 hours to go in trading. So anyway, just thought I'd update what's developing here. But to me, it was a good trade, certainly in the morning to have all kinds of morning gains. And then you have to decide what you wanted to do on Friday or not, given your own circumstances. But if you did take such a trade and it immediately failed, you can get right out for a small loss and then kind of watch what develops. Obviously, I'm hoping we, take out the lows and continue lower and end up with a nice shooter bar on the week, which will kind of lead us to expect lower into next week.